Hey everyone, my name's Abby and welcome to the Brown and Bougie podcast, where I'm keeping it raw, real and relatable. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Brown and Bougie podcast. So I wanted to talk to you today about expectations. It's really interesting because actually in the last year, especially with everything that's been happening with, pandemics and movements and things like that, everyone's expectations for what life is has changed. And I know that's a really big statement. I know you're probably like, what on earth are you talking about? But every part of our life in the last year has changed. Whether that be our relationships with, someone we're in love with, or our parents, or our siblings, or our friends, or family. The list is endless, right? Any kind of relationship / the things that we wanted to achieve in life. I feel like for a lot of people, actually, so many people will say like, oh, 2020 didn't even happen. For me, it didn't exist. We all say that. Yeah, we all say that, or we at least know someone who said that, right? But the thing is, I think expectations is actually something that we've been dealing with for a very, very long time. And we probably don't know it, right? Every single one of us expects something. We expect something from the day that is like the day that we are on. We expect something from partners, from parents, from work, from our career, from responsibility. Like we expect things consistently all the time. And sometimes you go into that loop of, am I expecting too much? Yeah. But you also think, am I expecting too little? What's the limit of how someone should treat you? Where's the line? What does that mean of someone needs to treat you well? There's so many questions around the concept of expectations that I feel like I've been thinking about it actually a lot, because in the last year, for those who've been following me for a really long time, last year was supposed to be one of the biggest years of my life. I was supposed to get married. I was supposed to move in with my fiance. I was, it was a really big part of it. It was supposed to be a really big part of my life. And it's weird because our wedding's been postponed now. And actually everyone's like, oh, like, are you excited? Are you super excited? You must be so excited. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited. But I'm also like not letting myself get excited, because last year I expected my wedding to happen, right? And obviously the pandemic was like the randomest. It was the randomest thing. No one ever thought a pandemic would even come our way. But I think because I expected so much from last year, I was really disappointed, like really disappointed. And for me now, actually, I'm not letting myself get excited because I'm scared I'm going to get disappointed again. And I know I cannot deal with it. Like the amount of stress and just like tears and all this like negativity that happened last year, like I just can't do it again. And I know that, right? Like, and I think it's about addressing the fact that, that it is okay to actually sometimes not expect something, or it is sometimes okay to lower expectations. So I want you to think about, because I want you to think as well, right? Like, and, obviously overthinking is not good for anybody, but I think general life, I think we all expected something from last year, right? But the question I have for you is, what have you done differently this year that has made that expectation either happen, or are you working towards that expectation? That could be something of your career. That could be something in a relationship. That could be, it could be so many different things. But what have you done differently compared to last year to fulfill that expectation, if that makes sense? Because half of the time we sort of think that expectations are controlled around other people, right? You think, oh, I'm in a relationship and I have expectation of my partner to treat me a specific way. So it's my partner's responsibility to treat me a specific way. But yeah, of course it's their responsibility, but it's also some part of your responsibility as well, right? So what can you do to make that relationship better? What can you do to improve that relationship? Or has your expectations, has your thought process, has your perspective changed about what's so important to you? If you know what I'm trying to say. And I think it's just one of those things where sometimes I'm always very tired of maybe I have too high expectations and I get disappointed. But then it's easy for you to say, oh, no expectations and no disappointments, right? But how easy is it not to expect something from your life? Like for me, in terms of my career, last year, because of COVID, so many things in my company didn't happen that I would have normally run in terms of projects and things like that. And actually, that put a delay on my career development. And, I had plans because I was like, okay, like by 2021, end of 2021, I want to have achieved ABC in my career. Obviously, I can't talk about it because I work in HR and it's all confidential. But I wanted to have done ABC. And I haven't done it. I'm not even anywhere close to it, but I'm trying to get to that point. I know I'm working hard to get to a point where I'm like, okay, by the end of the year, maybe I might not have achieved my 3 things that I wanted to do, but at least I'm trying and I'm on my way and I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? Last year was hard of all of us, but I think this year is sort of a recovery year, right? It's about looking after yourself, looking at your priorities, going, okay, am I expecting too much? Am I thinking too much about this? I think even for me, the last year really, really taught me like the importance and actually like, you know, the expectation I have of some of the friends in my life. You know, like actually, you know, we were all mentally going through our own stuff last year. However you look at it, you know, no one expected it. It's been hard on us all, right? But, you know, it's sort of, you sort of begin to think like, oh, okay, you know, like how many people was I able to pick up the phone to and just speak to? You know, because at the end of the day, last year, we were all at home. It's not like, you know, we were able to be like, oh, I'm really, really busy. Oh, I'm not really, really doing this, blah, blah, blah. We were all at home. We were all in exactly the same position of life, which just never, ever happened. And I don't think will ever happen. But the last year taught you a lot, right? And I think it's about really looking at it and going, okay, what kind of positives can I find? And I know it's hard. But actually sometimes you'll understand that actually the times that you're disappointed, the times that you feel a bit flat, the times that you put pressure on yourself, it's because you have expectations. And maybe they're sometimes too high. And I think it's important once in a while to sit and take those expectations and actually go, okay, am I expecting too much? And if I am, how do I help myself? How do I make that better? And I think it's about asking ourselves, because this is all development of part of life, right? Like, and I think, you know, for me, I learned a lot about myself, about the people around me, about my job, about what I want to do, about life and things like that. And actually, yeah, 100%, the last year's taught all of us that life is too short. So do you still want to be doing the 9-to-5 job? You know, if it was something that you were thinking about that, actually, I just want to quit this job and I wanted to do it, and you think, oh, I'm going to do it, but you never got round to it. Actually, loads of people did that last year. Loads of people just quit their jobs or left their jobs or whatever it is and just was like, okay, I need to prioritize my mental health. I need to prioritize what I want from life. Life is too short, right? So I want you to sit and just have a think about the expectations you have of yourself, of the people around you, of your job, of your relationships, of all those things, and actually just sort of like understand if you're having too high of expectations and why you might have those high expectations. And you think about it, right? Like, you know, you having high expectations for yourself, it could be based on, you know, what family have told you. You know, for example, you know, most typical brown thing someone's going to say to you is, I expect you to be a doctor. Your parents are going to be, I expect you to be a doctor. I expect you to be a lawyer. I expect you to do those things because I wasn't able to do it. That's what your parents are going to say. They didn't have the opportunities that we have. But just because someone expects something from you, how much is it your responsibility to fulfill that expectation? Or how much is it your responsibility to do what you're happy with doing? So I think it's about reevaluating the way you think, about understanding why you think the way you think, and actually going, okay, do you know what? I sort of think I can push myself more. And there's so many things, like I think in terms of relationships and stuff and, you know, growing up and stuff, I always told myself like, you know, I would never settle. And I would never settle because sometimes for me, like, you know, I thought my expectations were really reasonable. But I think the more and more I grew up, I sort of thought, oh, do you know what? Actually, some of my expectations are a bit too high. And it's just about reevaluating the way you think, because sometimes you can't control how other people are going to operate, right? Like you can't control it. But, you know, if you can control something, it's the way you think, it's your attitude, it's your thoughts, it's what you believe that is true, and you can control those things. So I think it's important to reevaluate them on a regular basis. I'm not saying what you're thinking is wrong and what you're doing is wrong, whatever it is, but I just think it's just worth having a think once in a while. So yeah, so I just think it's worth something to think about, because it was something I was thinking of, and I thought I would share my thoughts, because that's what this podcast is all about me sharing my real life experiences, and just to make you think a little, in a good way, of course. But yeah, also another way actually is actually to just sit and talk to someone about it, someone you're very comfortable with, someone you're close to, and just going, look, I've got these things I want to do, like, this is what I expect. Am I being realistic? Am I not being realistic? And actually having perspective is always good. I wouldn't say go and speak to every single person you can about it, But, once in a while, it's good to just share your thoughts and be open with someone just to give yourself another perspective, right? Because sometimes we go into that thing of like, okay, I think I'm right. I think I'm being realistic. But then sometimes giving like someone else talking to you actually just changes that perspective for you. So expect whatever you want from life, 100%, but work towards those goals. Work towards, having a good relationship with your family, your friends, your partner, whatever it is, your job, people you work with, whatever it is, whatever you want to achieve. As much as expectations are important, the way you work towards those goals are also important. So there's going to be a bit of change because the Tune of the Day session isn't really going to happen anymore. And you'll probably be like, what? Why? What? But I've come into the wonderful world of copyright issues and I realised I probably need to stop doing that. So yeah, copyright issues never make sense to me. Sorry, I'm going to go on a bit of a thing. As in I get, okay, it's someone's work. I completely get that, whatever it is. But for me, as far as I see it, if I played a song as part of my Tune of the Day, right, you're going to listen to it on the track, of course, but you're also going to be like, oh, let me go like download it because I remember this song. Or I'm going to watch it on YouTube because I've forgotten the video and it was sick. And like, I'm basically doing like free promotions and free marketing for these songs. But it's like, no, it's my thing, so no one else can play it. And I'm like, everyone's trying to make money, fam. Okay, I'm giving you a free service so you can make money, but like you're not going to take that. But copyright issues apparently is so big. So yeah, if you are a musician, I apologize if I've offended you, but whatever it is. Today's tune, basically how I'm going to do this is I'm still going to do a Tune of the Day session because I love music. For everyone who knows me, language, all kind of languages, genres and stuff. I love music, so I'm still going to share a Tune of the Day, but unfortunately I'm not going to be able to play the actual track. Yeah, so I'm sorry to disappoint, but unfortunately this is going to have to be the format from now on. So today's Tune of the Day is my most favourite motivational songs, which is Written in the Stars by the legend who is Tiny Temper. I don't know where he is actually, but obviously for those who don't know who Tiny Temper is, I don't know what you are doing with your life. And for those who remember, he did the classic song that is Pass Out. Written in the Stars by Tiny Temper featuring Eric Turner is one of my favourite motivational upbeat songs. So please do check it out. And yeah, and on that note, I'm going to love you and leave you. Thanks again for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. To catch all the latest from me, you can follow me on Instagram at the Brown and Bougie Podcast. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.